Welcome. This is Families and Children Really Matter. My name is Sal Frasca. With me today I have Madeline McCray, a noted author and good life coach. Hi, Madeline. Welcome.
Hi, Sal. Thank you for having me here.
Always a pleasure. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what is a good life coach?
Well, a good life coach, this good life coach at least, I help people reconnect with what their goals and their dreams and desires are. What those things that really made you feel good when you were younger, that's the type of thing that I try and get people to get back to.
So you're saying to them, re-energize themselves, I guess, right? Get them to be what they used to be?
Absolutely.
Right.
To revisit the kid in themselves again.
Really?
Really. I mean, that's really, you know, we go through life and our responsibilities kind of nip away at what we, you know, what really gave us joy and what made us feel great about life. And you know, we do need to be reminded of that. And this is very stressful lifestyles we're living these days.
Absolutely very stressful. I know this, you know, it's relationships are having a hard time. There's stress in relationships. There's separations, divorces, you know, there's children. With all of this compounding that really is, you know, a problem in our society. So why do healthy women rock?
Why do healthy women rock? Because when women are empowered, Sal, let's face it, women influence everything in society. We take care of the families, the children, we're the nurturers. And so unless we ourselves are rocking, there's a lot of lack going on. Yeah. So we have to really take care of ourselves. Right. And that's why I collaborated with my son Tarache, a fitness and nutrition expert, on Healthy Women Rock, so that I could share my experiences and expertise with readers, and he could share the science of exercise and proper nutrition and the importance of, you know, dieting, but we don't really do dieting, we do nutrition more.
Which is a food enhancement system, I would imagine. Right?
Absolutely.
So you eat very healthy things, and you don't eat twigs and branches. Okay, no. You eat things that have good nutrition, that have good basis for minerals and proteins and all those things to make you healthy and more vibrant.
That's right.
I had an aha moment about 4 months ago. A young lady introduced me to a product that changed my life dramatically. I mean, I was, you know, a little downtrodden, a little living life, working, and all of a sudden I had this thing go boom, and I had the moment. Yeah. You know, and isn't that a great feeling? I know you had that also, right?
Oh, no doubt.
And that moment is so great. You're just so alive, you know. And I've had some of my friends who have gotten on that healthy diet, and they say, where has it been all my life? Why am I so healthy and why am I so awake? You know, very important. And I think that's what people need. Women especially, like you said, they're working so hard at what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish that they need that. Tell us a little bit about the book, the
Healthy Women Rock. You want to know a little bit about that?
Well, tell me a little bit about the book.
Yeah, well, I cover a variety of topics in Healthy Women Rock, Sal. I mean, one of the things that is addressed in Healthy Women Rock is mindset. Because no matter what it is that we want to do with our lives, if we are operating from an old system, old beliefs, things that have been taught to us that didn't work for other people and certainly don't serve us well now, then we are bound to stay stuck in a place that we don't want to be, a place that doesn't give us happiness, a place that doesn't deliver us the joy that we need and that we need to extend to our children and to our families. And so there's a great deal of focus placed on that. As a matter of fact, a very, very dear friend of mine did my foreword. Her name is Terry Williams, and she wrote a book also called Black Pain, It Just Looks Like We're Not Hurting, and that book is about depression. And so many women and men, by the way, do suffer from depression for so many various reasons. And so it was important for me and for my son to include that issue of our mental health in the book, because we have to be able to adjust our thoughts and to create a healthy mind, because our mind really is the engine that drives the body. If we can't change our minds, our thoughts, and our mental health, we can't change anything else that we really want to do in life.
And that's something that doesn't come easy to a lot of people. You actually have to given a roadmap of sorts how you get to that point. You know, most people say, oh, I want it, but how do I achieve it? How do I get there? And I know in your book you list a couple of, I think the thing is, the rocker success tips.
Yes.
So tell us about some of the rocker success tips.
Well, one of the main points really is to energize yourself by reconnecting to your dreams. Reconnect to your dreams. Make a commitment to those dreams. Write them down. You know, really roadmap where you want to go. You know, sit back. It's easy to see where you are and to say, this isn't where I want to be. Okay, now that you know that, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And you have to know why. That's the other thing. I talk a great deal about knowing why. You know, one of the areas of a lot of people start out with, they go, well, I don't know what I want to do. And one of my points is to then actually realize what you don't want to do. If you know what you don't want to do, then you'll begin to go in the opposite direction. But you most definitely have to identify those things and to be very, very specific about what points and where you decide you want to design that new life. And it's different for everybody. It really is. So it's getting, you know, it's being healthy, you know, having a healthy body. And that's so crucial to everything we want to do. If we don't have the energy that we need, if we don't have the clarity of thought that we need to actually carry out those goals and those dreams that we've set forth and put out, you know, laid out on paper, then that too will keep us held back. So the advice is always to exercise and to make sure that you're reading things that will empower you.
Right. It's very important. I said you made a list of things. Now, on that list, well, if you have a dream, what are some of the dreams that women would want to achieve? I mean, better health, obviously. How about better relationships?
Oh, definitely.
All right. How about, you know, the rampant divorce and separation in our country? I guess getting better so that you're getting more healthier and happier and have an adventure so you can attain that relationship that you want. You know, attract the opposite sex who would say, oh, I like you because you're so healthy. You're, you know, there's those people who are always down and, you know, always people who actually don't appreciate the good side, the filled part of the glass, always look at the half-empty part of the glass, you know, who are always the victims of things. Once you change your mindset, and the mindset saying it's a positive thing that's going on, I'm not a victim, I could do anything. There isn't anything a woman or a man can't do if they set their mind to it. But if you're living in a world where everything is so bleak all the time, because your mind is always in that mindset, it's very difficult to get out of that, you know, I believe, and it's important. So what are some of the other things that are in the book that, another tip, give me another tip. You said make a list.
Personal responsibility.
What does that mean?
One has to take responsibility for their own behavior. See, a lot of times, and both genders can be guilty of this, but we're addressing women today, the blame game. We always have to take a real hard look at ourselves. And that's different from being critical of ourselves. That is literally to ask yourself, okay, here's what happened. We got into a big argument. Okay, but we need to sometimes assess the situation. How did that argument come to be? And this can be with a spouse, or, you know, it can be with your employer, it can be with anybody. Timing is everything. If someone walks through the door after they have had a nightmare day on their job or just commuting to and from, for example, and the moment that they walk through the door, yes, you're anxious to share you know, all of the challenges that you've had throughout the day, you know, because, you know, you've been stuck there maybe with the children, or, you know, your stress is coming from the outside, but you abruptly address your partner. I call it kind of like, and it's almost like an attack, you know, as soon as they walk through the door. Well, what you haven't done is given that other individual the opportunity to decompress,
Sure.
to actually shed their, you know, their pain from the day, if you will.
Right.
And in the absence of doing that, you're not going to have the positive outcome, because there's not going to be a discussion. There's literally, the door has been shut before there was an opportunity to open it.
One of the things I do when I teach the educational class, relationship educational class that I teach, I tell them, you know, the cell phone is a marvelous thing. So when you get on that cell phone, go through all of that on your way home. Even if you're both driving in different cars, or one is home and one is coming home from work, go over there, talk to each other on the phone, let out all that, and then when you come in the door, you don't have to address any of those issues. You can go right into the fun time of life, you know, talking about what went on, what you're having for dinner, where you're going to go, and things like that, the fun part. So by doing that initially, you get over that detoxing of the day, no matter whether it was from children or from work or the boy, whatever it is, you detox with the person that you love, you know, and that works. It works for them, and it's worked for many couples that I've taught.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big fan too of scheduling those talks. You know, I think that it's good if it's not something that is that's urgent, that needs to be, you know, settled at that moment. Then I think it's a good idea to also schedule that time, because it gives, and you schedule it, you know, whether if you have a glass of wine and you sit down, and actually everything is not a crisis.
Absolutely.
Everything
Absolutely
is
not.
just not a crisis. So you really have to just decide which one of these things is important enough. You know, that old saying, don't sweat the small stuff.
That's correct. And again, what I tell them is, you do need to make an appointment to talk about a disagreement that you're having. That's not a major disagreement, but you know, men and women are equal, but they're different. And out of that difference comes a different perspective of how they see all of these events that happen in relationships. You know, women are more emotional, more relationship. They want the warmth and the tenderness, and men are basically, you know, it could be the wrench, I'm going to fix it kind of thing, all right, to make it work, and that doesn't always work. Just maybe someone doesn't want, a woman may not want for you to fix it, guys. Just listen to it.
Right.
And understand it, that that was a problem. So that's some of the things you're going to be talking about, I guess, at the event. I know there's an event coming up, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but that's some of the things you're going to be talking about. So that's going to be a great thing, that you're going to have one-on-one with people that are coming to this event that you can explain this to help them in their relationships.
Absolutely. You know? I'm really looking forward to that.
Isn't it? It's
going to be a lot of fun.
Really.
Ton.
One of the things that, so maybe we could put that up right now. I know the event is going to be held in Hicksville, Long Island, I believe.
Yes.
On what's the date?
It's October the 23rd.
October 23rd. What time?
It should be here right before we know it, actually.
Yeah, right. It's almost here. It'll be I believe 7 to 9 at the Long Island Manor.
That's right.
All right. The Long Island Manor is in Hicksville, right on 107 and Wantagh Avenue, right there, right in the middle.
Right across from the train station.
Plenty of seating, plenty of things. And I think that in order to get involved in this event, you have to email the organization to get on, because they're going to be giving away spa days, you know, draw raffles.
Absolutely.
And they want you to make a reservation. We don't want to turn you away at the door. There are going to be so many people getting online to come into the manor.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So great event. It's going to happen. But let's go on and let's talk about another one of the things. How about motivation? Yeah. What's motivation all about?
Well, again, it's going back to for me. In order to be motivated, I have to know why I'm going after a particular thing. If you don't start with the why of it, there's little chance that you're going to become motivated. If someone, for example, needs to lose weight, let's just take something as simple as that. Okay, and how do you get motivated to get up and to lose weight? Well, you have to ask yourself, why do I need to lose weight? You don't want, it's not because, you know, sometimes, you know, we know it's good for our health. right? But maybe it's because, you know, you used to be in a size 10. And now you're, well, this is girl talk.
Okay,
but
I won't listen.
This is girl talk.
No problem.
You
I
know,
won't
and now
listen.
you're in a size 14. And you're like, you know, I don't know how I got here, but I got to get out of this size 14. And I got to get back into that size 10. Okay? And that becomes your motivating factor. Or it could be that, you know, you've gone to your doctor and your doctor has said, hey, you got to knock it off. You're knocking on the door to diabetes and a bit of a heart problem here. That's got to send some chills through you. You're motivated by the fact that you know that the last thing that you really want to do in your life right now is to become incapacitated, because you really need to be at your peak and at your best for yourself and for your family. So that's motivation.
Right.
And a lot of, you know, I mean, I could just go on and on and on about, you know.
Well, I guess if a man is looking at that, they would say, wow, you became a hottie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you became something that I remember when we first got together.
Yeah.
All those great things that happened, you know, with the endorphins going off, with the infatuation kind of a situation, because that men are very visual.
Yeah.
Women are very emotional.
Yeah.
You know, so a good motive for a woman.
We're visual too now.
Oh,
yeah.
I know. Let me tell you, I watch and I see.
Yeah,
you
we're
are.
visual.
Because of women's lip. You now have the right to do that. Before they didn't think they had the right. Now you could do anything you want.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, and you know, just to get back to your point a little bit in terms of, you know, the men, I believe that couples need to do things together. I'm all for, I don't think it's the woman's responsibility to, you know, to be the eye candy while the guy sits on the couch drinking beer and eating chips. So, you know, and growing, you know, that extra pounds around his waistline either. I think that both people have a responsibility to that relationship. Right. And when you get back to doing things as a couple, that's where the magic happens. It doesn't happen, you know, with one person, either the man or the woman, trying to be, you know, the dream maker in the family. No. It literally has to be both people.
Well, I know Dr. John Gray, you know, author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, now has a program for just that very purpose, for men and women to become healthier before he will coach them in his practice. Because without a good mindset, without something that you can base this new life that you're going to live, you're not going to get over that first hurdle.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're going to slide back.
Absolutely.
So if the noted authors and the noted nutritionists believe in this, it's got to be the way this whole wellness is going. We now have a society of wellness. We are on the road to wellness, that everybody can be well. You know, there's obesity in children, which is rampant. And there are ways to help children, you know, and live a longer life. I think one of the statistics is that this generation will probably live less than the current generation. You know, the new younger generation, they will have a shorter lifespan because of all the M's and the W's and the B's, you know, those food places that you eat at all the time. Not saying that they're ultimately bad, but you got to supplement those foods with very healthy and nutrition foods. That's very important.
No question, no question. And actually it's that this is the first generation of children where the parents will probably outlive the children, which is a very, very scary, scary thing.
Sure is.
You know, and that goes again back to personal responsibility. We are the role models for our children. So when we're healthy, what we're doing is showing our children that they also, you know, have to practice a healthy lifestyle. Because with videos and, you know, everything, you know, so many of the programs haven't been taken out of the school systems, you know, that keep children active. You know, our responsibility as parents, and I'm a grandparent, and, you know, but as a parent with small children, you got to get out there and help your kids, you know, really get out and have fun outside, outdoors, in the air. And that's the other thing, you know, with regards to our health, is that we're also full of toxins. So, you know, there's no way for us to be healthy unless we rid our body of the toxins that we are intaking through the air we breathe, the foods we eat, the water we drink. We can't get away from it. Everything that we
all
clean.
The steroids and
everything that
I know they inject chickens, and instead of letting them grow normally, they you know, go to market in 2 days.
Oh.
It's like,
no, but
you know?
and everything. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like amazing.
if you're a meat eater, I mean, the cows here in this country are, literally with because they're grass fed, and the grass has been poisoned with herbicides and pesticides.
Yeah.
I mean, once you consume that into your body, that's a part of who you are now. And I personally take a product that detoxifies me and gets that out of my body, which is how I keep my weight down.
Yes, yes, that's what's
That's how I rock, baby.
I'm sure you do. Madeline, let me ask you, you have a quote in your book. It says, "I looked for love and found it waiting in my soul."
Yeah.
Now, what do you mean by that, in my soul?
We have, and that is, I'm speaking generally now to women, we have a tendency to look outside of ourselves to find peace and inner harmony, when the truth of the matter is that it's already in us. We have to love ourselves first. When we love ourselves first, we take care of ourselves. We give ourselves the time that we need to find stillness, to create balance in our lives. And it's the balance and the stillness in our lives that reconnects us to our spirit. And when we're connected to our spirit, we cannot go wrong. We're always going to have some reason to be distracted, and it's really, really hard. But when you sit still long enough and you take inventory of who you are as a human being, what are those great things about you? What is it that people compliment us about? We're giving, caring, and loving people. And so when you take all of that into account, despite what the noise is outside of our being, we then bring it back home and find the love. And you realize that it's not in the hairdo, it's not in our nails being done, it's not in the clothes that we wear. It's literally in our hearts and in our souls. And so that's what I mean by that quote, Sal. I mean
So you're saying that, if you have a healthy and happy mind, because you wake up every day and you're looking forward to that day, then your soul and all of you enjoys that happy and healthy life that you're living.
It's balance. You got to have the balance. Yeah.
I know that fitness plays a part in this too. It's a very important thing about fitness, and I know your son is a fitness expert and a nutritional expert.
Yeah.
I've understood that even a small amount of exercise or going to a local gym, and we have gyms out here that you can go there and like $10 a month, go as many times as you want. It's amazing where it's gone to, and so I think they want to encourage women and men to go to gyms and work out.
Oh, no question. Exercise, first of all, when you exercise, you release endorphins. These are chemicals in the brain, and those are feel-good emotions. I mean, if you're feeling, you mentioned at the top of the show, I think, or when we were off camera, that, you had some feelings of, depression or, sadness or whatever. When you want to change that, get physical, sweetheart.
Right.
When you get physical, and, people think if you can't afford to go to the gym, or you don't have time to go, then guess what? Put on one of those real rockin' songs that you used to love and get out there and dance and get down to, and do that for 15 minutes and really move your body.
Sure.
Move
I go, and I gotta tell you what happens. I go on the treadmill, I do free weights, and I go out there. I walk out of there, my body is like, whew,
yeah.
And for the rest of the day, it's whew.
Yeah, and I practice yoga, and that's, this Bikram yoga is just an amazing, amazing practice where, building strength and working every single muscle and just, also
So let me ask you, Madeline, if they wanted to get in touch with you about your book and maybe get a copy of it, obviously it's going to be at the event that you're going to on October 23rd, right? Over in Hicksville. No longer you're going to have copies there for them. But if they wanted to just call, because this goes over a lot of communities on Long Island, how would they get in touch with you? Just look at the camera and tell the people how to get in touch.
The best way to get in touch with me is to send me an email. And that would be to Madeline at MadelineMcCray.com. Madeline at MadeleineMccray.com. And, if they go that route, that's
great. Right now, up on the, Mason, could you put that back up again, please? That lower third? Okay, now this is the event that you're going to be at, correct?
Yes, it
it's
is.
the best you can be for your new adventure.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess all these women would like to have a new adventure. The singles, the separated.
Single moms, single women, divorced women, you know, looking to really start, let's not wait for New Year's. That's my thing. You know, forget that. New Year's is right now. Now is now.
This is the new year,
this
new
is
time.
It. Yeah, you decide when New Year is. You know, it's calendar time to calendar time. I don't wait for January to dictate to me when I'm going to start to do something new.
The new year is your year.
That's right. That's right.
To be the best you can be.
That's right.
Right?
That's
for your
exactly
new adventure.
Right. That's
I love
exactly
adventures.
Right.
I love taking adventures all the time.
Oh my God.
It's grating.
Yeah.
So put that lower third up again, Mason. They can contact the promoter at the number or email them, and you have to send an email or call in order to get on the roster, to get on the invitation list, because it is by invitation. And we'll have you down, and we're gonna have a great time down there. We're gonna have some I guess cakes and snacks and healthy stuff. Right, healthy cakes. Stuff. And let me tell you something. I've tried them. Madeline has given me a few, and they actually taste good. They have this, like, what's this, the fiber snack or something that they had with raspberries in it. I was going, come on, this can't be good.
Oh, don't forget the chocolate. Don't forget the chocolate, because I mean, women are chocolate nuts.
You're gonna have all those chocolates there.
Oh my God, the ice.
What are they called?
Ice of Delights.
Ice of Delights. All right. Ice of Juicies. Yeah. That's what they call them. Yeah. I think one of our folks that calls them Ice of Juicies. And it works magic. Yeah. All right. It really does.
I love them. I know that.
Right.
Yeah.
So the event is October 23rd. You're going to be there. You're going to bring your books. There are going to be other people there. There are going to be the day spas are going to be there to give away day spas, seminars. We're going to have some maybe bags, companies there. So we're going to have a great time, right? Yeah. And again, it's at the Long Island Manor.
Correct.
In Hicksville. So come on down, get healthy, happier, and live the life you've always wanted to live.
That's right. And just rock, baby.
Just keep rocking. All right, and that's it. Thank you very much for being here, Madeline. I appreciate it.
It was a joy.
This is Families and Children Really Matter. If you have any comments or questions, please contact us at the end of the show. You'll see our credits. Take a look at Madeline's book, and I want to thank you, Madeline, for being here. We are also streaming live on YouTube, on Ustream. It'll also be on YouTube. So if you want to see a rebroadcast of that, go to YouTube /channel/MNowTV, and you can see a rebroadcast of this, or you can see it live on Ustream and rebroadcast on live stream. So what we do here now at MNowTV is very important. We are going to be the next level of communication for the country. What I always say at the end of the show, never live in the past. Always live grounded in the present. Very important. And dream about your future, because that's where your life is going. That's where your dreams, as Madeline alluded to, where your dreams are. You can be the best you can be at doing anything you want to do if you just dream and focus on that dream. Good night, and we'll see you on October 23rd at the event. Have a good one. So long.